Hey guys, what's going on? Drewzy here, back again with another South Park Phone Destroyer video, and today we are getting a early glimpse at the newest card coming to Phone Destroyer. That is Jesus. He is a range card, epic rarity, 4 energy cost for the mystical theme. There's some back and forth where people thought maybe he'd be mystical, maybe he'd be neutral, but of course he has been finalized as a mystical card, which I very much have been saying from the beginning when they announced this card, he should be a mystical card. So obviously the card art doesn't change. Here are his stats at max level 1, 117 health, 51 damage. A lot of people have been comparing him to maybe someone like Sharpshooter Shelly and around the similar levels, similar scaling. I believe Sharpshooter Shelly has a lot more health scaling than Jesus does, and maybe Jesus looks like he's going to be doing a little bit more damage, not as much health here as he goes along. Of course, with an epic card, the hardest thing to really gauge is how useful they're going to be until you get them to between level 3 and level 5. Level 3 to level 5 is the highest scaling percentage for an epic card in this game. That is when the scaling increases dramatically as far as the usefulness of the card. So at level 1, you're really not going to get a good feel for how good the card could be. The card will be released in the upcoming Battle Pass that will be starting next week. So next week, everyone will have an opportunity to get this card. I'm not saying you're going to get it right away, but at some point throughout the Battle Pass, this card will be available to you. He is, I believe, the main focus of the Battle Pass that is going to be coming out again next week, which we'll have more details on that when that Battle Pass launches, of course, next week as well. But let's just dive into some gameplay and see how Jesus looks in game. Alright guys, got a match here against Shotgun Jib from, of course, Team Namba. And of course we don't get our good old Jesus right off the bat, but we do get Father Maxi. So here is Jesus. So here you can kind of see the aura range of Jesus. It's a little bit smaller than Priest Maxi's is, just to kind of give you a kind of a gauge as far as how big the heal is. Now remember, it's a war cry, so it's going to happen initially from where he casts himself. I'm going to cast him here in the back, a little bit off to the side. And you can see his attack animation. He's got kind of a ninja star kind of thing that he is building up and throwing forward. And so we got Maxi. We've got Jesus now here on New Kid doing all that damage. And then you see him die. But then you see Jesus, of course, comes back to life. Let's put some Alvin King Bradley on him just to kind of see and gauge where he's at. Let's get a hallelujah here to try to keep maybe Father Maxi alive. Jesus is going to die a second time. But the key is, not only did he die, he revives, which again is his basically second ability, but he revives from the spot where he dies from. So if he dies in the middle of the battlefield, that's where he's going to spawn in at. If he dies behind your new kid, he'll spawn behind your new kid. So he's not going to spawn technically behind your new kid, he's going to spawn identically from where he died from. So that's a key kind of thing to kind of keep into consideration when playing Jesus, is that where he dies is going to be problematic for how good he could be for you, and kind of what's going to happen after the fact of him reviving back to life, is that he's going to revive up, but he's going to revive up obviously in a position where he's going to be vulnerable, because he could end up just reviving in a spot where he just died from and then die immediately again. So that could be problematic for you with Jesus, so kind of keep that in mind again when you're playing him, if you guys are able to unlock him. And kind of just see that. Let's go ahead, get Energy Staff out here. Let's go ahead, get Blood Elf Baby out here. Now Jesus will not heal the new kid, as you see here. I put Jesus out on the field. He does not heal the new kid in either of those scenarios as he comes back to life yet again. So that's also something to consideration. So you have, of course, Sharon, who has now a cap to her heal on the new kid, but Jesus will not heal the new kid. Go ahead and kill Jesus. Let's go ahead and bring Jesus back to life with good old Pope Timmy. Go ahead and do this. Go ahead and distract Tally here. Go ahead and heal up Father Maxi, and we got Father Maxi on New Kid. We have Jesus, of course, helping there off to the side. So his attack speed fairly slow. Looks like he's got pretty decent range. and his scaling is not quite as good as we would like him to have. But again, at low scaling at base level 2, that's what he's going to be playing on. It's going to be hard to really gauge just how useful he's going to be as an epic card at only level 2. We assume that based on what the scaling could possibly provide, that at around level 4, you could see Jesus somewhere around possibly 500 to 600 health, and you could see somewhere in the neighborhood of 115 to 120 some damage, possibly at around level 4. So I feel like his stats could be fairly decent in line. I mean, we can take that and compare that to what Sharpshooter Shelly is, because I actually have Sharpshooter Shelly to level 4. So I mean, at level 4, remember Sharpshooter Shelly, a little bit more defensive. She's got 588 health and 72 damage. So it looks as though Jesus could fall in line better stat-wise with what Sharpshooter Shelly has to offer for us right now, which could be a pretty decent combination for him, and as far as how much he could end up be doing in a positive for us on the field. But there you see Metro Sharon has Leader Heal as a new ability. Since her nerf that she recently received, her overall healing was reduced, and then of course the amount of healing that she does to the new kid also went down significantly as well. And then her base stats, I believe, also received a mild nerf as well. So she's, 616 health with 97 damage. So you could see a level 4 epic version of Jesus be around the same level or around the same strength as a level 5 Medicine Woman Sharon, which could actually make him a pretty decently difficult range unit to deal with. Plus, we don't know how well that healing is going to scale up. It could be somewhere in the neighborhood of close to 200 and some healing for those units around him, which would be nice as well to also have. And again, he's going to revive also to be able to produce that healing multiple times. So it's basically like having double the health, double the damage for a brief period of time when he comes back. So it's just a one revival, not like Mysterion who can revive multiple times. This is just a one and done kind of scenario, unless you use someone like Pope Timmy like I was using in the gameplay, to where you can bring him back again and then have that happen all over again. But I feel like Jesus could have the potential to be a good card. I don't think he's going to be a great card, but I guess we'll have to wait and see once people get him to a more reasonable level, and once we are finally actually get to see him a little bit more consistently in the gameplay itself. I am surprised that Jesus came out as a range card. I figured he'd be more of a fighter style card, in my opinion, just based on how he plays. But, I'm okay with him being range. I don't see a problem with it. I mean, I guess at first glance, when you think of Jesus as a range card, you would assume he'd have maybe a gun or something like that. Now, obviously, Red Links didn't go that way, but Jesus primarily in South Park lore has been either kind of a ninja or has had a gun of some kind multiple times, I believe, in different episodes. So, I mean, at least I kind of went the ninja route, I guess, to kind of give Jesus that aspect. But I think this could be a decent addition to the game. I don't think it's going to be a game-breaking one by any stretch of the imagination, but what do you guys think of Jesus as we just get a quick glance of him here in the game? So obviously be ready for that when the Battle Pass goes live next week, as it will be exciting to have another new card added to the game, even though unfortunately it's for the mystical theme. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoy this quick glimpse at Jesus, and until next time guys, my name is Druzy.